planning this day, it was far from automatic that this day would take place. Mark phoned me up and we had one or two meetings talking about whether we should go ahead. And we decided we'd only do it if we could get people of a good enough standard. We decided early on that we'd perhaps cast the net abroad, and we thought American and we thought European. And both he and I came up within the space of a very short time with the same name. I said to him on the phone, I said, of course, if you could get Tommy Wonder, then I think we'd have something really worth doing. And we were both absolutely delighted when Tommy agreed to come over, especially for this evening's performance. I've seen Tommy, I saw him lecture again at FISM 4 years ago, and in fact it was 8 years ago. And as I watched him, he was talking about misdirection, and I got that feeling that here's somebody who really knows what he's doing. And he's going to lecture for an hour for you tonight, so a big warm welcome please for Tommy Wonder.
Merci. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, all of you. I don't know how many of you have seen my lecture before. I understand not all that many, so for these people who have not seen it before, I would like to give you a little warning, because my lecture is a little bit different than most lectures, and it concerns the lecture notes. I do have lecture notes, so that you know, but it is very small. Yes, it is not thick, and it is just one piece of paper. It says lecture notes. This is so that when you find it later, you will know what it is. And the back says nothing. The first page on the inside, it has nothing on it. There is only some text here. No drawings, no descriptions of tricks. So you know what you're buying. So don't complain afterwards. They cost £7. Okay. I know many people will not buy this because they prefer big books. And so maybe it is better if I read out what it says. And then you know what you're not buying. Okay. It says, "Dear magic friend," which is you, if you buy it. All I know about magic can be found in the following books: Showmanship for Magicians by Dario Fitsky, Magic by Misdirection, also by Dario Fitsky, and Magic and Showmanship by Henning Nams. These books tell you almost everything there is to know about magic, and they will give you an insight into what magic really is, which is much more important than my tricks or someone else's tricks for that matter. At least these books help me a lot, and may they help you as well. Thank you. Okay. Well, that was the lecture. I hope you have enjoyed it. And I will sell the notes here. And that's it. Thank you for coming. Okay. Yes.
Hang on, Tommy. You're kidding, aren't you?
No, I would like to sell the notes now. I have a few notes here.
Is that it?
This is it, yes. This is all the sensible things. I don't have anything more sensible to say than this, so.
Tommy, we've got you booked for an hour. You haven't just come over from Holland. I'm sorry, this is totally unacceptable, Tommy. You've got to go on. I'm sorry, you've got to fill an hour.
Fill it?
Yeah.
Perhaps if you could read the notes a few times.
Yeah, so that might be an idea. Well, okay, so I have to fill an hour. I don't know what you want.
Make it good.
Yes, we can go out for a walk. I can show some tricks, maybe, explain them.
That would help.
That would help? Okay, well, I'll do that if you want to. I mean, all right. These are difficult people to work with, huh? Okay. Anyhow. Yeah, tricks. Okay, you want tricks. Oh, a card trick maybe. Have you ever seen a card trick with less than one card? Yeah, it is not much, but what? Yeah, okay. I'll show you a card trick with less than one card. It's a card trick with 3/4 playing card. You see, if you have a 3/4, well, you turn out a quarter, right? Like this. And if you have 3/4 playing card, and you tear it in 3 pieces, like this, and you have the 3 pieces together, and you blow, it's restored. Except, of course, for this little piece here, but it fits exactly. Sometimes, sometimes when you do this type of thing, people want you to restore the last quarter to the card, right? That would be good if I could do that, huh? Yeah, it's not all that bad. No. Well. Anyhow, no. I cheated you, I used tape, but what did you expect? Real miracles? Okay. This is a card trick of Paul Harris, actually. And I think he was the first one to do the torn and restored card with just one card. Normally the method was to have two cards together with a little bit of wax or something. And let me get a few cards. Oh, yeah. The idea, this method, I will not explain it in great detail. You can find it in his book Super Magic. But the idea is that when you have a card and you tear out a quarter of the card, then you can pretend to tear the card. This you put in your pocket, but actually you palm it. And then when you pretend to tear this, but actually you fold it. It goes like this, you bend it sort of, and then you do this. But actually this part is folded back. So it goes like this. Put this in and then tear. You place it there, then you fold this. Fold open this loose piece again. And you have torn it into 3 pieces. Now here it changes for what Paul Harris described. I've made a few changes. Because what he did, he would say, okay, I have 1, 2, 3 pieces here. I don't know, but if I see 3 things, I never have to count. I know it is 3. And if I see 4 things, I know it is 4. With 5, I cheat. I make a group of 2 and a group of 3, and I know it's 5. With 6, maybe then I start counting. I don't know. There's many card tricks where you say, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 aces with 1, 2, 3, 4 blue backs, as if they can have 5 blue backs or something. But in a way, it is only magicians and idiots who count when it's under 5. So really, what I feel with a lot of packet tricks, you should not count the cards but display. If you would display the pieces, look, these are the pieces, see? Then people will realize it's 3. And most of the time the number is not important, but a display of cards has a different rhythm and has a different look than a count. Sometimes you read in books, the counting should be at an even rhythm, like a metronome, 1, 2. No, it's not, because when you show it, it's a different feel, it's a different thing. Okay, that's just a thought. Here, because the way the card is folded, you can sort of push this aside. Yes, it's still connected, of course, but you just push this aside and it looks like 2 pieces. Together with this, it looks like 3 pieces. So you don't need to prove anything, you just have the 3 pieces. And also this makes it easier to make the restoration because you can hold it here, and here is this little corner which sticks out, so that when you do this, it opens out, and this piece goes behind the fingers, so you have it like this. Now the card, it is restored. I put in a crimp here, sort of, a side crimp, and a side crimp there. So then the card is rigid. It's a small detail, but it's important, because if it's not, it is not so restored. Yes? But this way, it is much more restored and much more complete than when it is limp. So then you go to your pocket, and of course you search a little bit. You have it palmed, but you can take it out immediately, but you pretend to search for it, and it fits exactly. Okay. This is a very nice trick. It's impromptu. You can do it with any card. Now there is really a problem that people want you to restore the last quarter. Now we talked with this afternoon about hecklers. When people say this, now it's not heckling. They just want you to do that. They would like to see it. And why not? You restored the other pieces. Why couldn't you restore this piece? It's logical. But of course it's very difficult. It's a very difficult question. And what I used to always do is I would give this to a spectator and say, look, if you can restore this piece to the rest, If you can do that, I will explain how it is done. Now, they see this as a little joke, and it is, but mainly it is to prevent them from asking me to do it. Because if someone says, no, you do it, say, no, 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 you do it, and I will explain it. So that's how I avoid this difficult question. Many tricks, sometimes you can get difficult questions, but if you can sort of take this question away from them, that's better. The other way of putting tape on the card I thought was a nice idea. I had some trouble to find a method to put tape on the card. Finally, I found a way. I tried rolling up the tape, having it under my thumb, putting it on and all this. If you take a card, and this is a special knife, I don't know if you can buy it in this country. You can't see it, but there's a very tiny point to it, and it's used for cutting pieces out of newspapers, but it cuts only through one layer of paper. The knife is not bigger than that. So if you cut like this, I've cut this way and this way. If you bend this, it will bend here at a very sharp angle because it just goes through half the thickness, and here the same thing. So this you can tear, and you see how neatly it's torn here, and this is exactly straight. Yeah? Okay, I have cards like that, and the tear I cover with tape. So I just have this card. Oh, by the way, to get to this card, if you have a deck of cards, there's no need to sneak this into the deck and force it or something. You could just even put the deck in your pocket and take this out from a small heap which you have in a special ticket pocket. Yeah? So it's just a card trick with less than one card, which takes the attention. Now, if I bend it here, you can see that the tape, it bends underneath the tape. Okay? Then you bend it here the same way. Now, I can tear out the piece, the quarter, and the tape is sticking out. See? So, but it looks like torn paper. So this goes into the pocket. I just tear the card. And the funny thing is, the tape, it makes, when you stick it a little bit to it, it makes a better tearing sound also, so it helps a little bit. Okay, you do it this way, and the tape stays hidden behind this. Oh, sorry, like it. And then you can do the restoration. Trick is still the same. You take this, oh, got it. You can show that it fits. And then, to make the complete restoration, you just press the tape. You say, wouldn't it be great? Say, yeah, well, it's not too bad. You know, it's not too bad. And then I just throw it on the table. Now, in this situation, I have to show it to you, but normally someone would pick it up. Not so much to examine, but to hold the mystery, you know. Okay, and they see the tape. And I said, hey. I said, yeah, what did you expect? Miracles or what? Huh? Okay. I must tell you also something. Some magicians have suggested to me to use a transparent tape, which is matte finish, not shiny. Because if it's true, you could do it and then show the card both sides and it's restored. But then you cannot give it away. So you would have to put it in your pocket or make a switch. Well, that becomes a lot of work. Personally, I don't think that's a good idea. Because if you put it away, they think there's something about the card. And it's not that they want to examine, but they want to hold it, yes? And there, when you use transparent tape, you sort of try to prove that you're better than what you really are. And this helps because if the tape is there, it just shows that I'm a regular guy. I'm sort of... it's important in magic sometimes, if you do the tricks, people get the impression you can do things they cannot do. And no matter how nice you are, it is possible that they take a distance from you. And this is the normal way everybody would restore a card. And it gives them, okay, he's an okay guy. He doesn't try to deceive me all the time. This is very important. I know many magicians do this. Lance Burton, for instance, especially in the beginning, he was like Mr. Perfect, yes? And then one moment a card drops. Oh, okay. And he produces another one, sticks it in the fan. And then he had a small smile. And at that period, it was the only smile in his act. It's important because it showed, oh, He's not like Superman. He doesn't try to be, you know, okay. So that's good. I think if you can put something in your act which shows, okay, I'm just here. I'm not trying to be all that high above you. It's good. Of course, this is only necessary if you have a good act. All right. I don't know if this has happened to you, because I don't know everybody of you, but I think it must have happened that one day you come to a bar or... Oh, before I continue, I should tell you something else. I almost forgot. I have here a booklet, wonder material. It's lots of drawings, and there is text with it. It explains all the things I do here in this hour. Yes? Okay. I've been thinking about this, what to charge for this, because it's basically my tricks, and they will, in all probability, not be suited for you. You know. So I don't know what to charge for this. I think, although it may be interesting for you, I think it has no value really. So I will give these away for free at the end of the hour. Okay? Well, only to the people who buy the lecture notes. Huh? Okay. All right. Now you thought I was crazy. No. Yes. Something which must have happened to you. It has happened to me also. You come to a party or to a bar, and someone knows you are a magician. And they say, oh, yeah, you're a magician. Oh, show us a trick. And then you have nothing with you. You try to borrow cards. They don't have cards. Oh, you borrow a coin. And then you do a coin trick, which you used to have success with 5 years ago. And it's not very successful, but okay. So you come home and you think, this will never happen again. Next time you go to a bar or a party, you are prepared. You have your cards here, your thumb tip and the silk, the rope and scissors, a wallet, everything, the sponge balls. And you are at this party, and you wait. And nobody asks you to show them a trick, right? Okay, so there you are. So you think, well, I have all these things with me, so you get some cards together, you ask someone, do you want to see a trick? This person remembers the coin trick. So, actually, I think the question to ask whether someone wants to see some magic or not is a very bad question. It, like I said also this afternoon, and it's described in the book which you get of this convention, I explain it a little bit more why it's not such a good question. Because it puts people on the spot, they have to answer, and maybe they don't want to see it, but they don't want to hurt you, so they may say, oh yes, please show me, while they actually would like to say, no, I don't want to see. So it's not a good idea to do this. And well, it depends what situation you are working. If it is a formal situation, it's a different thing. But if it is an informal one for friends or whatever, you need another type of introduction to the magic. And you could do several things, but whatever. Now, you can light your cigarette. If people, they can react to this in two different ways. If they say, oh wow, your lighter, it changed to a box of matches. Oh sure, yeah, that's magic, and here I have a deck of cards and I'll show you some more. Yeah? On the other hand, if they react like, oh yeah, it changed, huh? Then you can take your cigarette, you put it out in the ashtray, you walk to another group of people and you do the same trick again, you know. Then you continue doing this until you find people who like it. Actually, there are people who don't like magic, and I can't blame them all of the time. Some magic, you know, it has no sense. It's senseless. The magician, he produces a red silk. Seemingly he doesn't like the color, he changes it to blue, and then he throws the silk away. You know, things like this. We have come to accept it as normal, but a lot of magic is very strange when you start thinking about it. It's very illogical. But this trick where a lighter changes to a box of matches is a logical trick. And people, they will have a hard time disliking it. Because I'm not, there's a definite reason for me, because the lighter doesn't work, so why shouldn't I change it to a box of matches? They can't say that it's silly. When I think of tricks, I always have a habit of saying, okay, this and this happens, so what? And if you apply that, there is a lot of magic which doesn't mean all that much. And if it has some meaning, it will have a better connection with the people. They will be more involved. Okay, this trick is actually quite simple. You need a lighter, a big lighter or so, which you saw in half. This in itself is a lot of fun. So it has the length of the matchbox. It fits inside, and there is a nylon thread, so it can fall out, but not completely. It always stays in a little. And the back part of the drawer, I cut open here, and I fold it inside and put a little sticker there. So there is a compartment for a few matches. So this is inside the matchbox. So this you have in your pocket, and that's it. Now, you take your cigarette, and all you do is you drop this out of the box and you hold it. And it's not difficult, but it takes something in the mind. You have to put a lot of force in the first finger, because otherwise you get something like this. Yeah. But also you must hold the box very lightly, because otherwise you crush the box. It's not difficult, it's just something here. Okay, so you do this. And because there is no gas in it, of course it will not flame. This is important detail. It might sound very funny or stupid, but you must do this until at least one person notices it. Okay, I know this sounds stupid, but when you practice things at home, you know, for instance, you practice at home 1, 2, 3, and then you change it, and you have practiced it, and it goes okay. Then you perform it. The first time you do it, you're a little bit nervous. Well, okay, you do 1, 2, 3, and nobody has seen the trick. Okay. Actually, it takes courage to wait for things. It's the same when you palm a card. You practice, and you do then you palm the card, and you have practiced it in this certain rhythm, and then when showtime comes, it's and you do it in the same rhythm, and it might be completely wrong for this situation. At this moment, someone might be watching your hand. You must have the guts to wait. It takes courage to wait for the moment. So once you know it, it's not so difficult anymore. But don't fall into the habit of doing things in a certain rhythm, but watch the audience, where they're looking, and how their rhythm is. Because their rhythm is as important as my rhythm. Together you make the rhythm of the show. Okay, so it is like this. So you do this. If they know you are a magician, you might even run into the situation where they say, oh, it doesn't work, I thought you were a magician. Huh? That's great, because you get challenged and you can meet the challenge. Okay, to change it, you just let it go into the box and you turn your hand over. Now you can show the box. You open the box to take out a match. Of course, you could see the lighter this way. You keep your fingers in front, then the hand drops down. So the lighter drops down, it stays here. So they see an empty box, except for a few matches. So you take out a match, and you strike it, and you can light your cigarette. This you put in your pocket, and it's reset. Okay, there's another thing. Once you've thought of it, it's not difficult anymore, but I had missed a few opportunities before I thought of it. If you take a big lighter, and a red one especially is a popular color, and someone has the same lighter, now it would be stupid to change your own lighter. You just take their lighter, you take it, you just take it from them, and you talk to them, no fancy switch, yeah, sure, and then you do this. There's no need to make a difficult switch, just look them in the eye so that they don't expect the trick anyhow. So, and then it doesn't work, and their lighter changes into a box of matches, which is far better. But you must be aware, when you see such a lighter, you must grab your chance. Yes? Once you are aware of it, you will grab the chance, but I have let this opportunity go for a few times. Okay. There's one problem with it. If you change their lighter into a box of matches, they don't want the lighter back, they want the box. I don't know why. I think they want to say to their friends, this used to be my lighter. I don't know. Of course, you can say, well, I take an extra box of matches, make a switch. Well, that for me, it goes too far. Because then I would really be filled with all kinds of things. So in such a case, I would just put it in my pocket and say, oh, well, it's just a joke, and give them the lighter back. Okay, so those are a few things to think about. Any questions on this, by the way, or things? Or okay, one thing I mentioned is it resets. For me, this is very important. If a trick resets, that is wonderful. There are many tricks which in itself are not resetting, but if you change the handling sometimes, you can make it resetting. And sometimes I have even changed the method of a trick completely just to make it resetting. I think that's very important for several reasons, because first of all, it's much better to practice. You practice much faster. You don't have to reset. So you can, and resetting is dull. But for close-up tricks especially, you can just practice. And it has something else too, because if you have a trick which you need to reset, for instance, okay, yes, here is the extra coin nobody should know about, okay? And here is the thread which should not break, okay? And so you remind yourself of the magic method, because during the preparation you see the trick. And people say if you really want to learn something, do it at regular intervals. Well, with the preparation, at regular intervals, you are reminding yourself that what you do is not real magic. It's a fake. And the idea is that you believe the trick yourself. It becomes very hard if you have tricks which don't reset to believe it, because you remind yourself with regular intervals it's not real. But if you have a resetting trick, you never come in contact with all these secret things. It sort of goes automatic, and that helps you to believe in your own magic, and I think that's very good. Another thing is, in a situation where you work several tables, you're working at this table, and the other table is already yelling, they want to see you too. Okay. So, oh, you're sure, I'll be there in a moment, and then you have to prepare. So you are in a hurry. You might make the preparation wrong. You might even forget the preparation altogether. I have seen someone, we worked together in a place, and he arrived at the table, and halfway through his trick, gee, I forgot to reset it. Now that looks pretty stupid. So, and also for the person who's paying you, it's not a good thing if he sees you go to the men's room all the time or something, you know. Either the magician is lazy or ill. So if you can make tricks, resetting, it's a lot better, it's a lot more comfortable. And also, it gives you confidence, because once I've done my tricks once, I know everything is there. There is no doubt anymore. I have no, is it there? Is everything in order? No. Once it's done once, I know for sure. It's all in the right pockets, it's all there. Okay. Good. Yeah, maybe it's time for a small card trick. Let me place this here. And it's not a big card trick, it's just a small card trick. And, oh, no, well. I would like you to take one of these cards, but don't take a picture card. Any other card is fine. Okay. And I have also a felt pen, but it's a very small one, because it was washed a little bit too hot. It's not a big deal. If you take the cap off, it doesn't matter anymore. You just write your name on the card as big as you can, through the spades. That's okay, as long as it's nice and big and visible for everybody. Okay, thank you, wonderful. And the pen. Oops, that was my microphone. Okay, thank you. Now you see, all the cards in the deck, they feel very normal, like they always feel on the Sunday. Except the 9 of spades, it feels very important. And you can see, because if you place the 9 of spades into the deck like this, and you do hop, it rises through the cards to the top. It is on top now. Did I go too fast? Or? No, okay. I'll show you again, it's quite simple. It's about, oh, it's not exactly the middle, but it's not important. The importance is the movement. I'll do it slow. Hop. It cannot be, huh? And yet. You know, I became a magician to find out how I do this. Oh, sometimes I meet people who think I cheat. Not you, but sometimes lay people, you know, they think I put in a different card, it's already there, or that I do it with my fingers very fast. Well, you know, that can be done. I'll do it here on the table. You can see I don't do anything with my fingers. I will only use my fingertips. Look. No possibility for cheating and no fast movements. I'm not going too fast, am I? No, okay. If you watch the side, you can see it happen. Did you see it crawl to the top? Oh. Well, it's there, all right. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, I can just as well explain it. You see, the card, of course, it doesn't go through the other cards to the top. It's imagination, you understand. Also, the card, it doesn't really go in the middle. It's imagination, because it's my lucky card. I never keep it in the deck. So you cannot see it there, because I always keep it here, this little box. But what I don't understand is how you manage to put on my lucky card in the box your name. You must explain it to me, because I don't know. Huh? Okay. It is a lucky card. There's 6 months guarantee on the luck, so keep it at least half a year. Huh? Okay. Yeah, that's a problem I always have. You see, the cards, they came out of the box, so really they should go back into the box. They came out, come on, so they must go back in. It takes a little bit more force, but okay, it's a lot better that way, yeah? Okay? All right. Good. Well, I will explain a few parts of this routine. First of all, let me see the box which gets smaller. Now, this routine, the way I've done it, is not resetting, unfortunately. So usually I only do it in this sense once only for the director of the company or something. The box which gets smaller, John Cornelius has versions. There are several versions around. I made this version with the aviator deck. It's red, white, and red. You can sort of make a very nice one which gets smaller because it's like a telescope. So it just folds like this. And the other side is decorated like a small box with a flap, but it's closed here, of course, it doesn't matter. This has the advantage that if I would only make it smaller and at the end take it out of my pocket, you know, then they might have forgotten that the box had become smaller, and I can hold it like this and just put the cards back into the box. And then it's reset. So that's a nice way if you only make the box smaller, but of course the other ending is nicer. But the problem with this is it's difficult to make. It gets dirty. You have to renew it every now and then. It takes a lot of work to make these 3 parts and with the threads and everything. So I made another way which only works for special types of cards. This is commercial cards for Heineken, but it's the same idea. You take out the cards and it's like this. This is much easier to make because here the back design of the cards is the same as the box, and it's just a half box. And when the cards are in, so you can just take it like this, and there's no need to prove anything because why shouldn't the cards be in a regular box, you know? So, but they can see through your fingers a little bit like this, so they see it's and it's very easy. You could just push them out like this, take it, and just show the other side. It's much easier to make, and it doesn't wear out so quickly because it's just no moving parts. It's just one piece. This even has the advantage that if you want, you can even put the cards back in the box while in your pocket. So there you could reset this thing. So if it has the same back design, that has a possibility. Okay. So that's the shrinking card case. The trick with the... Oh, I might also tell you a little bit about... that's so nice about a close-up convention. I know now that you are interested in close-up, because many conventions, you know, sometimes I skip certain things because I don't know if I would interest the people. So that's nice about conventions like this. It's nothing special in a way what I do, but there is I would like to tell you something about the second time the card comes to the top. The first time, it's just the tilt move and it comes to the top like this. Then I'm going to repeat it, and the card is turned back, and then I place the card like this. And it is on top again. Now, I don't want, when the second time I have the card, I don't want people to know or to realize that the card goes back on the deck and that I take the card like this. Because in a way, it would be, if it is a single card, you would sort of take the card like this and put it back. You wouldn't put it back on the deck, really. So I don't want this to register with the people. So I use two things, sort of. I have the card here. I say, oh, it's quite simple. Look. Yes, it's sort of a one-hand top change with one card. Because they don't realize the hand is empty, or they say, look, they don't realize it has been on the deck. That's one. But the other thing is, to make it impossible to think back, this is, and I found it became about 40 to 50% more effective after I had inserted this detail. I have the card and said, look, oh, it's not the middle. But that's not important, it's the movement. Now what I do here, basically, when they think back, I give them a new piece of information. I say, okay, the card goes in the middle. Oh, it's not exactly the middle. But that's not important. And I can sometimes see the people think, yeah, sure, that doesn't matter. Please, continue. And that's what I'm putting a piece of information in their mind. So it's not a straight line of events from the moment I show the card. There is something new. And this prevents them from thinking back that the card has been on top there. It sort of convinces them more that the card is really going in. It's a very small detail, but I really found it became more effective. And I sort of, not irritate, but a little, yeah, sure, that doesn't matter. We don't care where the card goes in. They want to see it come back on top again. So this is, sometimes some people call it time misdirection, when you make a steel of something with a silk, and then you wait, and you produce it. We were talking with some people outside about this. The time is not important. But if you make a steel and then produce a little thing here and then put it there and you make the production, it's better because a little event happens in between. So you put a little thought in their mind, so it becomes very difficult to think back how you could have done it. Okay. All right, then it is on top again, etc., etc. All right, then the card comes out of the box. This is a trick which I saw in a lecture of Fred Capps. I made this box myself because to find a ring box is probably you won't find one of the correct size. It must be a box, and the card is in there, folded, and it can move, but it is it's underneath a loop of thread, so it cannot fall out. But I can easily take it out and put another brand of card in if necessary. The box I made so that it can move, but not too much, and I wanted the box to be as small as can be. So, and also the design of the lid is very important. I'll come back to that later. The idea is to when you have a card and it is folded. By the way, this is not in the free booklet, but just my own handling on it. Okay. You can show the card. You have the card palmed here, and that's why the box has a little bit a rounded lid, and it goes very smooth. It sort of falls close by itself. This hand turns palm up, and the box sort of takes the card, and you can shake it out. So you show the card like this and say, oh, come. And you can show the card. Yeah. What is important also when you show this and you take this, it comes out, when you open the card, you sort of palm the box. So out of sight, out of mind. I'm not really palming it. I mean, if someone sees it, okay, so I have the box here. But I prefer them to forget about the box, and then I throw it on the table, and it goes this way. And then at the same moment, the hand goes away to get rid of the box, because I don't want the box to be inside, because then they might start thinking, is there something wrong with the box? Now, the problem is the folding of the card. I read somewhere a method to fold the card. You all are familiar with this method. You fold it like this. It's in expert card technique or something. Now, no matter how long you practice this, you see, sometimes we think that if someone does something very smoothly, he has practiced a long time. But sometimes it's better to find a better method. You know, because some methods, no matter how well you do them, something will always be visible. No matter I can't do it well, but your hand has to make these movements. And look at how ugly it looks. As your hand looks weird. There's a lot of movement in the hand. So what you have to do is you have to do this underneath the table edge, or behind your leg, so that the other tables can see it, or whatever, you know. What I think is a good way is to palm the card and hold it behind someone's back. And then you can keep even your palm to this person's back, so the other sides don't see it really. And it is nice because it gives you an open, this is honest. If you are standing like this, you're honest. If you're standing like this, you're doing something. Well, like making a pass. If you make the pass here, I don't know. But if you make it there, sure, it's honest. It's more honest. It's just an impression they get. Okay, so you can fold the card behind someone's back. I wanted to have a method to fold the card in this region without taking the hands out of sight. So I've made something like this. I've folded the card now. And it's smaller than this other method. As you can see, this is not folded well, but you can see it's a lot smaller because it is 3 times folded in 2. Yes. And the method is quite fast. This is another. So, and it is the first 2 folds are from expert card technique, and it's really good. And I just added 1 extra fold. And the extra fold, the last fold, you need a lot of force because it's difficult. But because you are doing it with 2 hands, you have the force of 2 hands together. And with 1 hand, it's difficult, you know. But I can use the arms as a sort of to bring force. Okay. You hold the deck like this, with the thumb is here in the middle, and it's sticking out as far as possible. So you don't hold the deck like this, but you hold it like this. Now you buckle the chosen card, the top card, and now you go like this. Now because both short sides of the cards of the card is in contact with the deck, and this sort of ensures that the fold is at a straight angle, and that's very important that the card ends up folded very nicely, because the neater it is folded, the more impossible it seems. Because if it is ugly folded, then maybe it looks almost like crumpled up. But if it is very neatly folded, they get the impression you must have been out of the room to really fold the card. Okay, so these 2 sides are in contact with the deck, and you have the first fold. Now the thumb is in a way is here. It's at a straight angle. Now you don't stop. You just continue. So the second fold is also, if your thumb is straight, at a straight angle and in the middle. So with 1 movement, you have 2 folds. So that's very economic. Now to continue, and this is what I added, I pull up the card with my thumb. So I only hold it with the first finger, and I sort of hold it like this. Now this hand is underneath the deck, and it's going to grab the deck. The deck is here, and then that's where you apply force with 2 hands. You sort of press it around your finger, and then these fingers can grab the deck. You pull out this one, and you can press it like this, or if necessary you can do this a little bit, but then actually pressing the folds in, okay? So then you have the card folded. Do it again, so it's like the 1, 2, and the 3rd. And you press it closed. And I'll maybe do it again 1 more time slow. So this is the first and the second, and it's bend around the finger, and you press. Then what I do, I take it here, so that I can show this hand empty. What is the box? Here. And I can pick up the box like this, and then I show it, and then I have the attention here. So that's the moment where I palm off the folded card and place the deck on the table. So then I can show it and just take out the card and give it to them as their chosen card. Okay. There's one slight problem with this card fold. Slight problem to learn it. Of course, when you start practicing this, if you want to learn this, you use old cards. Now, I don't know how many old cards you have at home. Maybe 10 decks or so, I don't know. It's not enough, really. But then you have the problem, when you have folded all your old cards, you have to wait till you have new old cards. And by that time, you have forgotten about this card fold, you've read another book, seen another lecture, and so you end up with learning the card fold for 70% and then forgetting about it. It's with a lot of tricks like that. In a case where you want to really learn this, and it has to do with many tricks where you dispose of things, you must force yourself. Go out and buy 100 decks of a back design which you don't want to be seen with. And then you have all these cards and you have no use for them. The only use you have is folding them, and then you will learn. So commit yourself, put in some money and buy, so that you force yourself, because otherwise it's not going to work, because then you get distracted. And at the end of the year, you will have learned 10 tricks for 70% instead of 7 for 100%, and that's a pity of the work. Okay. Let me see. The cards go into the small box. Before I explain this to you, I should explain there is a how would you call it? A deck switch. Because a regular deck, of course, can't go into this little box. I will tell you about the deck switch. I was thinking about switching a deck, but now you could use lapping and things like that, but although I work quite often sitting, I can talk about that too if you want later on. But I don't like to use lapping because I want to have my tricks so that I can also do them standing up. Because then I never have to worry. I know that under any circumstance, the tricks I have on my body, I can do them. I feel that for me it's very important for my confidence and for feeling good. So I wanted to have a deck switch on my body, and I was thinking of I've read a deck switch somewhere where you have the deck in the pocket. This is the warm deck. This is the cold deck, and you had to do something like this. You had to go in and change it. No, okay. Depends on the size of your pockets, but it's not easy. What I saw today of Jeff Ray, that was good. He puts it in his pocket and says, okay, yeah, and then he takes out, then it's good. But if you want to do it secretly, you know, it's no good. Because you get it's difficult to change a deck in one pocket and not having it noticed. Because you really get this type of thing very quickly. Also, it's quite illogical to go with your hand to your pocket with a deck. Because if you need to take something out of your pocket, you must have a reason to go to your pocket. Then you would take the deck here and go to your pocket and take out or whatever. Unless this hand is occupied, maybe holding a chair or something, you know, then it's okay. But otherwise, so you run into a lot of problems to make a deck switch with one pocket. And then I thought of something very simple. I thought, why not do it this way? It's very easy. It's very smooth. And also the deck is never leaving their sight. It's always there. I mean, I need about half a second of misdirection and it's done. So it's just flying from one hand to the other, but because it goes smoothly, you know. So I have this, and then I continue with other things. So it's very smooth, and although it is illogical, it's not unnatural. With one hand in one pocket is more unnatural. Okay. Now, of course, you need reasons for the pockets, for the hands to go to the pockets. I have to think how it is. Okay. Here I have the small box, which I'm going to take out of my pocket. Okay. Here I have this box, and the card comes out. I show them this card, which is very strong misdirection. I take up the deck. This hand goes to the pocket, basically to put this away. this hand goes to the pocket to take out the box. So it's all, every hand has a reason to do what it's doing, and yet the deck is changed for another deck. I remember showing this once to someone who was deceived by the switch. Later I explained it. He said, "You're never going to get away with that." But, you see, sometimes you can do quite illogical things as long as they have a natural flow and are going okay. Then you don't have so much trouble. Okay, so the deck is switched for another deck. Oh, by the way, this box, this one is smaller even, huh? But they forgot the exact size, but it is smaller. It's another box. I had the idea of this, and I made a deck which fits in the box and has this shape. It fits in completely, although, well, it sticks out a little bit, but the flap goes over high. But it means if the flap is to the back, the box looks even smaller than it is, which is just helping the illusion in the beginning. So I try to get every millimeter I can get away, I've taken it away. This is the shape, and when it is like this, it looks as if the box is already very full. It's sort of, yeah, how can something be very full or something? Huh? Okay, so this looks nice. And then you just have to swivel it like this, and it's completely in. Now the problem is, of course, to have this parade as a real deck. And this is a pity. It's not resetting by itself. Oh, this is. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here is some sticky tape, and the card sticks to it like this. So it looks like a full deck. This is what I take out of my pocket, and I have a full deck. Now the problem is to get rid of this card, or to make it fit the box. With this same knife, which only cuts through one layer of paper, I've cut here and there on 1/3. So I can grab it here when I seemingly push it in, and I just fold it. So it's zigzag. It's very fast. You hold it on here, but now it has a problem that it will go to the back, see? And it might even push this forward, which doesn't look good. So to keep this together, and also to prevent this whole thing from falling off, because you don't have a lot of grip on it, you know, it's very unstable. What I've done is the top card, it can swivel. It gets more and more complicated. So okay, so I have the card here. Do this. So it can't go to the back, and it gives some support for this block, so you can show it like this. And then all you do is swivel it, put it in. Close the box. And it's gone. It is some work to make, but oh well. Gets you through a winter evening. Huh? Yeah, I'm sorry we don't have a little bit more time, but anyhow, I hope you have enjoyed it. I have at least filled my hour. I'm happy about that, and now they're going to send me away. It's terrible. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you want to buy the notes, you get the free booklet. Feel free. They're £7. I'll be in the corner there. Thank you very much. Okay.